And honestly, there's days where it's just like, Lord, I don't want to do that workout. Can you please give me some strength to go and do it? And so you invite him into the journey, and it really starts to shift that journey from just feeling so like pressure driven
Mm-hmm.
to more purpose driven. That's where I feel like the discipline and the guidance and all of those things come because we know what it says in his good book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where my step one always is. We invite God into the journey.
Are you looking for motivation and the push to get moving? In this episode, I have a wonderfully talented guest who shares her 5 step system for health and wellness. You're going to be inspired and motivated when you hear Christa. She helps busy moms improve their health through simplified nutrition, purposeful movement, and building support systems. I was absolutely encouraged with today's conversation and got my internal fire worked up to get motivated to stay consistent and then to grow towards my goals. You don't need any more reasons. You just need to invite Jesus, schedule it, and then have the discipline to execute a simple plan. Is it hard to make healthy food choices and find time to exercise because you're too busy? Welcome to Self Care for Busy Moms, and I'm your host, Susan. That was me, overwhelmed with my family schedule and ignoring the stress affecting my body. But then I found ways to health with food, exercise, and Christ. I can't wait to share them with you to get your step counter and remember the sunscreen. It's time to get started on your self care. Friend, I remember a time when I was running from one emergency meal to another and I didn't know how to strategically plan a grocery trip. And I was absolutely stressed out every night by dinner time. Over the years, though, my family's love for Mediterranean food was really the turning point that helped me figure out the basic elements to this type of cuisine and then to loosely base my meal plans based on themes for a week. Now, this was a game changer for me, and it really made grocery shopping so much smoother and with greater focus and efficiency. I had flexibility with structure. This was the perfect balance for me as a busy mom with multiple schedules and sometimes unpredictable dinner schedules. So fast forward, I'm stronger, calmer, and actually excited for dinner. What's the secret? It's the Mediterranean meal framework that takes 20 minutes to plan and works even on those soccer or baseball or other commitment type nights. And I'm teaching the exact framework live on April 14th at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time for free. The workshop is called Meal Plan Mediterranean Nourish and Flourish Workshop. You can sign up at susanro.myflowdesk.com/workshop. Again, that's susanro.myflowdesk.com/workshop. And you'll get a downloadable workbook that we'll use in the workshop. You don't have to figure this out alone, Mama. Welcome to the show. How are
I'm
you?
excited. Amazing. Excited.
Very good. Awesome. Well, I'm super excited for our conversation because I have someone who's very experienced. Her name is Christa Baker. She's a Christian health coach and founder of Baker Family Fitness, where she helps faith-driven parents build strength, lose weight, increase energy, and create lasting health that honors God and supports their families. After walking through her own health struggles and her husband's diabetes diagnosis, Christa felt called to bridge the gap between faith and fitness. Through her premium coaching experience, Christa provides clear training structure, practical nutrition guidance, and ongoing support that helps families build generational wellness. Her approach is grounded in the belief that caring for our bodies is an act of stewardship that strengthens our ability to serve God, lead our families well, and live out our calling. I just love your bio because it just aligns and resonates with so much of what I feel for what I'm doing as well, Christa. So I have a quick question because whenever I have people on my show, I just love to get the back end story of how God has just brought them to where they are right now. And just reading your bio, you mentioned about your own health struggles and your husband's diabetes diagnosis. I would love to hear more about your story and the journey that God has led you through.
Well, yeah, thanks so much for all of that. I'm going to be 47 this year, so I've been on a bit of a roller coaster ride when it comes to health. Um, I was saved 10 years ago, so I wasn't raised Christian. And I think
Mm,
that was a really big piece of me figuring a lot of things out. And I'm excited to walk you guys through this framework today. But so from a health perspective, I've always struggled. Well, body image was always one thing I really struggled with. I had a comparison trap. I wanted to look a certain way. I thought that that's how I just fit in this small little box and I would be liked, or I had to look a certain way to do whatever because I think the way that I was raised was almost like, well, if you look pretty, then you can go far. But if you're not like, you were never praised for
mm,
being smart or well.
mhm,
So I definitely developed a lot of poor habits around my body image, but I was always really drawn to like movement and doing stuff. I wasn't very good at a lot of things. Like I wasn't super athletic, but I liked playing sports.
mhm.
So just trying to find my way in that area. I always struggled with really, really bad monthly cycles since I was 15. And I could never figure out why I would struggle and suffer and my friends wouldn't. Even as like a teenage girl and body changes and all those things, I had a pretty challenging upbringing as well. I definitely didn't always have it as peaceful as it is right now. I went through a lot in that area. But when it comes to health, when I had my first daughter, I went full time into the fitness industry because I wanted to control my hours. I wanted to control what I did with my work and be a mom and really do that well. I'm a police wife as well, so there's a lot of schedule
Wow.
changes that I've had to adopt, like I just really adapt around. But even
Mhm,
when my daughters were little, I punished my body. Like I felt like, oh, I had to lose the baby weight right away, or this and that, and then enter perimenopause, and what a wild ride that can be.
mhm,
So I've always really like dialed in or tried to understand or learn more or find the best people to like really build education around and my own knowledge. And then really inviting God into the process. So I'm going to definitely cover that today. My husband was diagnosed with diabetes during the pandemic, and I started really diving into autoimmune conditions and the deep roots of why a lot of us are suffering. So for my own hormonal chaos and his
mhm,
his stuff, that's where I started really diving deep. And then really figuring how to help people. My calling was always encouragement. Like I'm like you know, people call me the hype girl every time. I
mhm,
just love people so much. I want to see them all really well. And then I didn't know that this is what God was going to do with my life, but I just said, I'm all yours. You just, guide me. But from a, the history standpoint, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of learning to love myself.
right, right. It's so true, especially after. Okay, so what I got out of your wonderful, and thank you so much, first of all, for sharing
Mm,
your journey, because I think what we go through um, is filtered through God's hands,
mm,
and He does something amazing with it. And the fact that you're here in the space that you are coaching other
mm,
women and families to make a generational impact, right? With
mm,
health and nutrition so that they can make a difference. It's just honestly, in my opinion, just glorifies God and
mm.
showcases all that He can do, even in our brokenness, right?
Yeah. Well, my husband always like so when my husband was diagnosed, he really like rose up. So my husband's working in the business now. He became a certified coach, but he's still working full time, so he kind of just helps out
Hmm.
wherever we need that help. But we have a lot of husbands that join our program because they know that their success rate increases, right? And
Mm,
I did work with moms, all the moms, when I was pregnant, all that stuff. And I do have a lot of the women that will do that initial reach out, but as soon as they hear that it's a lot better if the husband joins too, and the husbands have a conversation with me.
hmm.
You do have a really good rapport, and it's really awesome what God can do with that.
Hmm.
But yeah, like God, I did not know that this is what he was going to do with my life. I just remember my husband and I were saved together 10 years
Oh,
ago.
wonderful. That's
Yeah, we
awesome.
were baptized the same day. We had never even
Whoa.
seen an adult baptism, but we got baptized.
Uh-huh.
And God like rescued us, saved our marriage, and it's been 10 years now. But even just thinking about how he did that, and then he just came after us. And my husband's scripture is always like, what you intended for harm, God intends for good.
Right.
And so this harm that was coming into his body, that was like this external thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, I'm going to take that and we're going to pull this into his glory and his goodness.
Wow. So how is the situation right now with your husband with his diabetes diagnosis? Like, have you been
It's,
able?
oh yeah, like we went in pretty hard.
Hmm.
Um, we feel like it was actually triggered, an autoimmune response was triggered by the original variant during that
Oh,
time
okay.
back in
Yeah,
2020.
okay. Right.
And I actually, so both of him and I got really sick,
Hmm.
and I ended up having some lung issues. He ended up having, and for somebody who's like, I have a gym in my house, like I know how to deadlift a lot of weight. I understand how the mechanical side of like our bodies work, but I saw a change in my health. And then for him, I was like, hey, we really got to get some labs run. And it was to the point that our doctor sent us back to get more labs because they're like, they must have made a mistake. This can't be yours. So it was that
Mm.
quick in his blood labs. And so we really got it under control with like nutrition, with daily activity, but there were still things climbing up and making, and the it wasn't reversing the way that I've been able to support other people with diabetes to reverse.
Hmm.
And his internist was like baffled. And I just started seeking. I'm not a really big fan of the medical system, to be honest with you. I think it serves its purpose, but it actually keeps you stuck and you stay in it
Mm.
for a long time if you don't do the right things to help make the changes in your life. And
Right.
we can all get out of it. And it's not, I use it for the right reasons where it's supposed to be. In case of an emergency, we can
Hmm.
control a lot of other things. And since then, I've really dove into it's called iron dysregulation. That's a whole different conversation. But my husband ended up with hemochromatosis, which is
Oh,
high ferritin in so it's a high iron level. A lot of women suffer from low.
right, right.
It just means it's not going to the right place. We have it. We all
Uh,
have it. It's just not
mm,
going to the right place. So we worked on a process with other professionals and with me really nerding out, and we
hmm.
trusted the process. And my goodness, my husband is like the energy he has right now. Yeah, like all is so good. He's on the worship team now. He's just such an
Oh
amazing,
my goodness.
calm, peaceful, like level-headed. Before when his body was really breaking down, you're
Yeah.
irritable. You're
Hmm.
short. And he didn't want to be. It's not like it was like him. It was just
Hmm.
what was happening on the inside. So that's all balanced out and it's so beautiful. And myself too. I have zero, I don't get migraines anymore. I could
Wow.
do leg day on day 2 of my cycle.
That
So
is amazing.
yeah, it's a really cool process that we've been able to figure out. Long,
Oh my
long and
goodness.
steady.
That is awesome. I'm so glad to hear all of the success
Mm,
that you've gone through. I know I'm sure it was hard work to go through the whole process, but
hmm
so glad to hear that you're on the other side of like healing. But
Yep.
you mentioned about the five-step system, and
Mm.
I'm super curious about more of that. So, what is like the biggest mistake that you see Christian parents making when they're trying to get healthy?
Uh, I think they try to do too much or they compare themselves to who they were before. So
Yeah,
what I did, they're like, well, what I used to do doesn't work anymore. I'm like, well, you're different. Your body's changing. You have to like, I think there's an acceptance piece too. I've struggled
right.
with like the aging process. Like I don't feel, well, because I actually feel very young. Like I'll put an outfit on and I'm like, my 14-year-old daughter has like the same one. I'm like, I think I might need to grow up a little bit because I feel like a teenager at times still. However, I think what I hear the most from people is when I like take a look at what they're trying to do, they're just trying to do too much.
Mm, yeah. And it's so true. It is a process because I remember myself going through that same process of like,
Mm,
something's not right. It's not that it's not right, but it's different.
mm,
And coming to, I guess, acceptance of that and
mm.
finding strategies in this new season.
Yeah,
So,
when you hit 40 and then your doctor says the perimenopause word to you, I'm like, I rebuke that.
yes,
Don't say
I know
that word
that
to
does
me.
not include me. Not yet.
And then I actually became a certified menopause specialist because I knew
Wow.
I needed to
Uh-huh.
learn more about it as I was going through that stage. So I'm like, I need to support my clients better and myself as
Hmm.
I was changing. And I learned that it can be as early as 30 all the way to 62.
Wow.
So if you're in that age range, right, you are probably in it, even though you don't want to accept it.
Right. Well, and that's a huge age range.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, can you walk us through your five-step system and what
Mhm.
does step one actually look like in real life?
Invite God into your journey.
I love that.
So
Absolutely love it.
I just got chills in my legs. That's like Holy Spirit. When we invite the Lord into this health journey, real change really happens.
Mm,
We we kind of take it away from just like the way we want to look, right? And we can actually bring him in and rely on him and his strength that he so freely gives us. He
mm,
also gives us wisdom, right? And that wisdom sometimes is like, well, what does it say in his book? But wisdom to reach out to the right person or wisdom to bring that right, friend along the journey or whatever that looks like. And then we know that we stop doing this alone. And I think that a lot of people really do try to separate this relationship.
mm,
And honestly, I see it all the time. Like when we really, really hone in on what he says. And honestly, there's days where it's just like, Lord, I don't want to do that workout. Can you please give me some strength to go and do it? And so you
mm,
invite him into the journey, and it really starts to shift that journey from just feeling so like pressure driven to
mhm,
more purpose driven. And that's where I feel like the discipline and the guidance and all of those things come because we know what it says in his good book,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
And so that's where my step one always is. We invite God into the journey.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And when you do invite Jesus into the whole journey
Hmm.
of being a better steward of our body, it really gives you a bigger why to do things. Like, for example, like yesterday, I didn't want to go for a walk.
Mm,
But you know that when you're listening to the Lord's leading and
mm.
inviting Him through the whole process, God was like impressing on me, you need to go for a walk.
Did he say, get off your butt right now? Nice try. I thought you were a disciplined woman.
I know,
Yeah.
and you need to get your steps in. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine. And
I
I just
literally
did
did the
it.
exact same thing yesterday. So I started a walking challenge because January, I live in Canada and it has been the coldest, most snow that we've had in a very long time. We hit temperatures that we hadn't seen in 50 years. And I'm not even old enough to remember that, right? So it's been hard. It's been very challenging. And so the whole month of January, like December is always so busy that you don't
Hmm.
notice a lot. But
Hmm.
January, I noticed I wasn't getting like that level of activity out. And I'm a homeschool mom as well. So I homeschool one of my daughters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my grade five. And I would get her to her activities and do stuff, but I wasn't intentionally doing that added time outside walking and stuff. So I started a challenge partially for myself, but to just motivate people. It's like a free challenge. I'm like, who wants to
Hmm.
join me? I had to ask my clients. I just put it on social media. I'm like, whoever wants to join, we're just gonna like stay accountable to each other. I didn't make
Hmm.
like it has to be this many steps. I just made it just do 5 or 10 minutes more than what you really think that you can do. Like, and
Right.
so, you know, I'm at day 26 now. We have 2 more days. And yesterday I only had 15 minutes to get outside. I just went around the block
Hmm.
between work, taking care of kids, getting them fed, and getting my daughter to her life group and me to my life group. So I was
Hmm.
like, that's got to be enough.
Yeah.
And God was like, yo, you made a commitment, girl. Get your butt out there. Even though it's still cold out. Anyways,
Right.
yeah. So I hear you. He definitely will give you a little bit of a when you have those conversations with him, he's going to remind you about what you said you were going to do.
Absolutely. That's so true.
Mhm.
So that was step one.
Yeah. Actually, you alluded to step two and you didn't even know it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we need to develop our why.
Ah.
I have a lot of people that will say, "Oh man, I really need to lose some weight." Well, why? So I call this your 2.0 version. So what I do with a lot of people is I'll start talking to them about why does this actually really matter to you?
Mm,
A lot of us do have very surface level goals. And I know we want to look better, and it's okay. I think it's okay to have aesthetic goals. I don't think that as long as we don't idolize it, it's not like the main driver of what we do. If we want to feel like we want to have more confidence, we want to lose some weight because we're not feeling so good in our clothing, whatever that why looks like, we need to almost like peel back more of those layers and figure out what does life look like if we don't do something about this.
hmm
And so when I walk through anybody that wants to work with me, I have this conversation with them and I helped them to picture what their life looks like once we've done the work. So I figure out what their goals are and not the surface level ones. Like we really get deep
hmm
and we start to figure out like, oh wow, I actually don't feel comfortable naked in front of my husband. Okay, well, we know what God wants our marriage strong and us confident in front of and relationally and tied and unified together. Well, that's going to impact your relationship. It's going to impact your marriage, your friendships. I don't even go out with my friends anymore because I don't feel good. So that's the level of why that I look for.
mm,
And then I help them to develop their 2.0. So this time next year, I'm writing your testimony. This time next year, we're having a conversation and we've completed all of these things. We've become this person. Who are you?
mm.
Like, I want to figure out really why this matters right now. And then from there, we can go into our step three. But if we don't have that, it's the thing I pull people back to. So how I frame it is, do you remember the 2.0 version that we talked about, that your 2.0? Are our actions aligning with
Mm,
becoming this person? And we don't go one to two, we go one to like 1.5 or 1.1 and then
hmm
1.2. And all of these decisions that we make, we think about who this 2.0 person is and we start to really align things. And it just allows us to really focus on that legacy that we're all trying to build in our own homes, right? And I
Right.
think
Yes.
you, obviously, with all the moms, like this helps us to really set that standard for our children that are
hmm
really watching us, like more is caught than taught. So they're
Absolutely.
seeing what we do and how we treat ourselves, and it helps us to really figure out like the true depth of the work that we're about to do.
That's so true. You're absolutely right about it's more caught than taught.
Mm.
We we show in our actions by the choices that we make, whether it aligns with where we want to go, where our goals are. And
Mhm.
I love how, yes, it is inviting, first of all, Jesus into the whole process, but it's a lot of it is initially in the mind, having
Yep.
the right mind frame and
Yep.
with the goals and the vision on a deeper level.
Yeah, I do a vision assignment with my clients when they come in. It's like, and then I review it with them. And it's
hmm
always so, it's very Proverbs 31-ish. I mean, I have, and then some of the men stuff, it's like they just want to feel strong and capable and have the energy for their kids and be able to go and play the sports with their sons after work when they're really exhausted.
hmm
And and it's beautiful. I'm like, let's just keep thinking about who that is as we walk through this journey together. Because
hmm
I don't promise easy. God didn't promise easy. I don't promise easy. I just know that we need to make some really good solid steps to move forward.
That's true. That is so
Mm.
true. A lot of it is obedience.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're like,
I'm learning that these days. I would say that's my current learning process in my
yeah.
journey.
I feel like that's always one. Just in different areas of our lives.
Right, absolutely. Um, okay, so number one is Jesus, number two is the why, and
Yep.
step three.
We just need to simplify our
Ah,
nutrition.
mm-hmm.
So simplify meaning, I think a lot of people, I don't know about you, but if you go on social media, you're going to be told to be vegan and carnivore. I'm like, I don't know how you can do both of those.
Wait, is
Do
that's not possible,
no, it's
right?
not possible. That's why I say that because I'm like, it's so complicated, right? Like
Right.
people really don't understand nutrition because people are you're looking at these very large accounts where people are paid to really say certain things, or maybe that's the
Mm,
one thing that helped them achieve their goal, but they're not taking into consideration your life, your
mm,
food preferences, your family cultural, like all of those things really matter. But there are building blocks to nutrition that actually is quite simple. when we just stop long enough to learn a bit.
Mhm.
So our busy families, they fail when nutrition feels complicated. Who wouldn't, right? So I personally just focus on, okay, I've never reviewed somebody's food journal and at any point in my entire career been like, you get enough protein. None, not one. So most of the time, and that's just even for people that understand macronutrients. So
Mhm.
I do really understand. I do talk about macros, but I help them to understand why that matters. And then when I review and I look at their maybe autoimmune condition, I'm like, we just have to make changes, but ultimately we need to just make it simple. And so we take it one step at a time. Most times people are like, restrict, take these things away.
Mm.
Oftentimes I find myself adding instead. So instead, just do that, but then at this meal, add this thing. Oh, okay. And then the body starts changing. So
Mm.
usually for me, by week three, most of the people, my clients will be like, my taste buds are different, my everything. So we have to simplify and we have to be okay with repeatable. Like we have
Mhm.
family staples in our home that are just on repeat because I don't need to make an elaborate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's 21 meals that I'm like trying to create this new thing. No,
Right.
we have to simplify this and you have to be okay with things on repeat.
Yeah.
And then if you feel like you're going to chef it up, feel free to. I've never gotten to that point, but we batch cook. And so really just learning to simplify all of this. And that simple always wins over perfect
Mm.
because it's
Mhm.
sustainable and it's something that we can do long term.
Yeah, I love what you said right there. Simple is better than perfect. It's
Yeah.
just being consistent. It's just staying in the habit of doing the thing, which is
But
not
because when
easy.
it's too complicated, you can't
Mm.
stay doing that thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
too much.
overwhelming.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like today, or even yesterday, I knew the way my day was going to go, and I had to homeschool in the morning. My husband's on a course. I had to, I had a really big work block that I needed to get lots done, and I just knew as soon as I got into that work block, I don't want to break to have to go and cook. So I just did it in the morning while I was making my other daughter's her breakfast. I just had all the meals, like everything ready, did a triple batch, and now it's just in the fridge because I know Thursday and Friday are super busy
Hmm.
also. So it just has to be there and available because quick and easy equals processed and probably not so good for our digestive system.
Absolutely there with you.
Yeah.
Trying to cut out the processed, do less takeout, trying to do
Yeah.
more home cooking it and preparing it and batch cooking it. Yeah, that's so true. And my struggle was always like the protein part. So
Everyone all the time.
I
You're
feel
not
like
alone, sister.
so I actually did a protein, what is it? I did the protein Korean slow cooker Korean beef in a slow
Okay.
cooker.
Sweet.
And oh my goodness, I'm actually going to do a whole episode on that because it's been so good. It's like going to be on repeat because it
Okay,
was
and then send it
easy.
to me for sure because I'm always open to learning more, and especially if it's going to be simple and I can have my. But between that and then like with the nutrition, there are definitely things that are higher priority. And for women that are listening, I'm assuming it's all women that are
Mhm.
listening.
Absolutely. Yeah. Moms.
Um, yeah, where most women undereat fat as well. And fat is for your hormone production. You need to
Ah.
have a good amount of fat for your hormone production. And it's not that carbs are the enemy. They're not. We just probably have to review how much and where the source is coming from, only because
Mhm.
we know that there's all this added stuff that's being put in our food that's really damaging our organs. And we have to deal with so many shifts every month because we have different organs than men do. And that really impacts our hormones long term. And so like I said, I'm not the type of person that just starts removing all this stuff. It's like, well, let's just move this around and let's see how your body starts to adapt,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
So
Okay. So
simple. Yep.
So you mentioned protein.
Mhm.
It's good to have a little bit more protein in our diets in general for
Always.
women in especially perimenopause. But and then you mentioned fat. Um, and my question, I guess, about this is, does it matter any type of fat? Are you talking more like grass-fed beef, like the fats from animals, or would it be
Well,
like
grass-fed beef
avocado?
doesn't have a lot of fat. That's the thing.
That's
Grass-fed
true.
beef is a little bit leaner. So
Uh-huh.
I add fat to it.
Okay.
I think it really varies per individual, to be honest with you. I like saturated animal fats.
Hmm.
A lot of people are afraid of them because they think that it's going to make them fat, right? Fat doesn't
Hmm.
equal, but too much of anything all around. But I
Right.
analyze like what we do all day for every week and we see how the body responds. But I do see a lot of people that if we have autoimmune conditions, if we have very painful periods, if we have really bad perimenopause symptoms, migraines, things like that, I would definitely pull carbs down and pull fats up a bit. And then protein, the goal typically is so let's say I weigh 200 pounds and I want to weigh 150. My goal is to try to get at least 1 gram of protein per ideal body pound by body weight. So if I want to weigh 150, I'm going to try to get anywhere between 120 to 150 grams of protein. And then the rest of the calories are going to be coming from carbs and fats.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have an issue with like organ health or we're having symptoms that are really bad because your body's telling you a story, then I would pull carbs down some oftentimes to pull fat up to see if that starts to balance out the hormonal response that's happening inside the system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's what
it,
I have really been able to work on with a lot of people. Now, this is like not that's not like weight loss advice. But and it's not to fear monger carbs, but I have people that are in the industry that I have some bodybuilders, they're able to eat like 300 grams of carbs. I'm like, if I go over 100, I feel sick. Like
mm,
I actually don't feel well. My gut hurts. I feel very bloated. So my body's always responded better to that, but a lot of people don't know how to do that. And I think it's good for us to see, right? To experiment to see, well, how's your body responding? Um, our body's really wise. Like it sends us signals as trying to get your attention, just like God does. You know, God like sends these little messages
mhm.
along the way, and He's trying to get your attention. You're like sitting in church, you've been thinking about your finances, you're trying to figure it all out, and then all of a sudden this message is delivered, and you're like, how did He know what I was thinking? Well, that's God giving gifts to other
Absolutely.
people to be on your journey. Well, your body's doing the exact same thing. It's like telling you a story, it's sending you a signal, it's trying to
Mm.
get your attention.
Wow. Okay, so what you're
Yeah,
talking about is everything with fat, protein, and carbs. It's like you're dialing things,
I'm moving them
upping
around.
it or moving it around just to figure out what the ideal combination would be for each person's
Yep,
story, the story that's being told in their body at that current
yep,
time. Okay,
yep,
that is so great. Okay, so we talked about simplifying things.
yep.
That would be step three. Um,
Simplify nutrition.
Nutrition.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's nutrition. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like we eat every day, multiple times a day. So
I
that's
know there's no surprise that we're gonna eat breakfast. Like it's just why are we guessing then? And that's where it's just because we don't have the right education or
mhm.
plan that allows us to just be prepared and have that available. And I know
Mm,
what it's like to be busy. I understand busy moms. I am
mhm.
one. I think we all identify as
We
busy,
all, yes.
right?
Yeah.
So yes, so simplify nutrition. And do you want me to get into step 4 now?
Yes, that'd be great. Step four.
We could call it move with purpose. We need to move. There's no surprise that our body needs to move.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of women have been lied to for a very long time. They've been told that they have to live in cardio land
Mm,
or group X classes where if we're already busy and stressed and we're underfed and we've got hormonal chaos, and then on top of it, we go and we add this hit intense high level whatever workout, those types of workouts serve a purpose. And for right now, your body's going to respond in a negative way if that's all you're giving it. So
mm,
for me, I start my clients with 15 minutes of intentional strength training workouts every day except for Sunday. I make it that way because most of the time anybody can find 15 minutes.
hmm.
And when the program isn't just random 15-minute stuff, like there's an intention why I put specific exercises and movement patterns in each day.
Hmm.
I know that we're tackling how our bodies are have been designed by the Lord. Like we naturally move in specific movement patterns. And so we have these goals that we want to look a certain way. So we overtrain our legs, overtrain our shoulders, but the body's symmetrical. Like we need to find symmetry in our body. And so we
Hmm.
don't want to complicate it with these like long drawn out workouts that were, you want to do a long workout Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Awesome. Monday the kids get sick. So you miss that one. Wednesday you get stuck in traffic. So you can't get there and then your kid
Hmm.
has a presentation at school that you got to get to. So now
Hmm.
it's Friday. You're like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to get my workout in on Friday. But you're like, ah, well, you know what? I may as well just start over. I didn't do Monday and Wednesday. It's so hard to catch up from,
So true. It's so true.
right?
One little derail and it's like off
That's
course.
it. Yeah. And so you're like, well, this plan doesn't work. You're right. It's not working with your life. And so I really focus on those like short, strength focused like workouts. I think about how our body moves. We squat, we bend, we push, we pull. We want
Hmm.
our legs to look a little nicer. We want to maybe work on our core and make it feel stronger because it's the foundation. We want to create some mobility in the body. So I just start my clients love the way I have my program laid out because by the end of that first couple weeks that we work, like, because I have a 6 month coaching program. So after the
Hmm.
first couple weeks, they're like, yeah, I'm ready to do this, or now I'm actually going to buy more equipment because I know how to use it. We don't just
Hmm.
need another treadmill that's collecting our clothing. It's a clothing rack. We
Right.
hang dry our clothes on that thing now, right? So I'm really, really, and then at that point, I'll look at their stuff and I'm like, well, now we can increase this. Our goal is to build muscle. We want to maybe develop glute muscle. So then we start pivoting and moving things around. But this is the thing that keeps people doing it long term. And I mean, I work with homeschool moms that run farms and they do all the accounting for their husband and they're on the worship team. And I'm like, if you can do
Wow.
this for 15 minutes, they're like, I just want to keep with this structure. I don't want to change it. I'm like, done. And then
Hmm.
we change because our body will adapt very quickly to strength
Hmm.
training. So if we do the same thing all the time, we don't adapt, our body won't change the way we want it to. So we don't have to change it, don't change it all the time. You change it in every couple of weeks.
Right. Okay.
Some people 6 weeks, some people 12. It just depends on the phase of training they're in.
Hmm.
But that's what I really, really think it's supposed to be simple. And then we look at our daily activity. Like you said, you wanted to get your walk in. So if I'm sitting all day long, I have to find a way to make that daily activity a little bit more feasible. So when I get to work, I'm actually going to park all the way at the other end and at
Hmm.
least get a little bit there. And then as I get upstairs, I'm going to take the stairs instead of the elevator. So those are just like, that's that level of activity that we can include throughout the day. So it's not another thing that you have to do. You're already
Right.
doing
Right.
it. We just have to make it work, right?
Yes, finding ways to incorporate it in our daily life as a
Oh, it's
habit. It's
yeah.
that's so key because it's so hard to dedicate and allocate 45 minutes to something,
Yeah, so
right?
good. Yeah.
Um, okay, so moving well, and it's more specifically like strength training that works with our lifestyle.
Strength training is a non-negotiable for the
Hmm.
rest of your life. So I
Wow.
asked in my walking challenge, okay, I did a poll because I'm not coaching in there. I just said, hey, who wants to be accountable to each other? There's
Mm,
42 people in it. And I said, how many, like, how frequent are you strength training? And it was like, 3 to 4 times, da, da, da. Most people were maybe one. And then if not, like, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin. And so, yes, it's good to begin by getting your body moving, get outside, get some fresh air, take the stairs. But if you're not strength training, you're not protecting your bones, you're
hmm.
not protecting your organs, you're not protecting the longevity of your structural, like, think about people get older, they fall, they break, get pneumonia, and a lot of people leave this planet because of things like that. Like,
Mm,
we need to build that muscle to support us. And trust me, ladies, you're not going to get big. There is intention for women
right.
to get bulky. There's things that you have to do to get bulky, and we're not talking about that. So a lot of women are very afraid to try to resistance train or they don't know where to start,
Hmm.
right? So, but it's a non-negotiable. It has to happen. Your body needs it for survival. So we have to find a way to put it in.
Wow, that's such a great reminder. Yes, that is so good. Okay, so this is the fifth and last step, right?
This is it. We're going in.
Okay.
We need to build support.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. These lasting habits, they're not built alone. God really designed us for community. And I think a lot of people are afraid of community at times because there's a level of accountability when it comes to that, or they're
Hmm.
shy. But really finding the right person to come alongside you on the journey. and asking for help. So, that support can look like obviously hiring a coach, someone that's gone before you that knows what to do.
Hmm.
That support might look like, you know, maybe going to your church and being like, okay, I need to find 5 women who are willing to do this thing. My only issue with that, what happens if they stop doing it?
Mm.
And that's what we see happen all the time. And so while it's very encouraging when we come together, but when we rely on that class and then all of a sudden there's a snowstorm, what
Mm.
can I do? So I always tell people, I'm like, I'm trying to remove any barrier that's going to get in your way. That's why I build a lot of programs for people. I'm just get a couple sets of dumbbells and hopefully invest in a bench and we
Hmm.
are good to go. Like we can do a
Hmm.
lot. And then all you have to do is go downstairs instead of getting into your car, cleaning off the snow, going all the way across the world to get
Right.
to a place that maybe is open or maybe they shut down. Like we have to know that we have to stop those barriers, but we have to have honest conversations with our husbands.
Mm.
Like how many women are not talking to their husbands about the pain that they're in because their bodies change so much. Their bodies changed because they've made babies. Their bodies have changed because their body's changing. Men don't change, guys. Like they have one hormonal shift when they're, I don't know, 10, 12, 11, 13, 14, 15, whatever age that happens. And
Uh-huh.
then at the end, maybe around 60, they start to see this decline. We have one every month. And then we make
Right.
babies. And so we have been on a roller coaster. We're different, but we need to invite our husbands into this journey. We need to invite
Mm.
our family into the journey. We need to have accountability. So we need to really find support. And that's the thing that helps the success rate go up. That's why I love working with the husbands too. Because, and then even one of my clients right now, her son, they built a gym in their house. And so both the husband and wife are in the program. And so she messages me this week and she's like, okay, my son, I think he's in grade 8. She's like, he's
Hmm.
really into like working out. Like, what program can he follow? I'm like, the new program I built for your husband would be perfect for your son, but you want to do it with him for a while and like make sure he's doing it properly. And then if you don't know if he's doing it properly, take a video of him doing it and then send it to me and I'll let you know.
Ah.
Right? Because I'm online. But I think that I think it's just as important as inviting Jesus into the journey that we need to build support and community around us. So if our
Mm.
5 friends that we hang out with all the time kind of live at McDonald's, they sit on their butts all the time and complain about life, what is your life going to look like?
Mm. That's so good. You're right.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. That's
so
so true.
I think that environment it really matters and not relying on the motivation to do the thing because motivation is fleeting.
Hmm.
I'm not motivated to wake up at 5. I'm disciplined to wake up at 5. It's a discipline versus the like relying on that motivation.
Hmm.
So I really think the support is important.
I love what you said. That's like a great slogan right there. Motivation is fleeting.
Oh, I say it all
I,
the time. I know, like,
that's like a bumper sticker. That is so good.
yeah. Well,
But
I think so one of the first lessons that I do have in my program is don't rely on motivation. It's basically the difference between motivation, consistency, and discipline. I'm
hmm.
like, we're going to start by probably getting pumped up and being motivated. Maybe right now, if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, I'm so motivated to do something about my health. And then you're going to turn this off. Real life's going to kick in. And tomorrow it's going to be like, well, what did that girl say again? So we rely on this motivation to do
Yes.
the thing, just like we go to a Sunday message at church and we're
Hmm.
so motivated by what the pastor said. We get in the car and we yell at our kids and we fight with our husband. Like, why do we do these things?
Hmm. Hmm.
But then when we start to build the right plan for your specific circumstances, the way that your life is looking and structured right now, the discipline kicks in. And there's something
Hmm.
that's so satisfactory to that because it's so God honoring, right?
Hmm.
Just look up the word discipline in the Bible. It's in there a lot. And then so we are consistent and then we're disciplined. So we go
Mm.
kind of from this motivation, become consistent, and then we just become so disciplined that it just becomes part of who we are.
Right. That's beautifully said. And you're right. Motivation is important because it is that one kickstart to start
Mm,
something,
mhm.
but then we need to be consistent with it. And
You can't
in the
rely on it though.
no,
Yeah.
we can't ride on it. That's for sure for the long
No, it's
term.
going. Trust me.
Okay.
My
Yes.
this morning, I w was not motivated. It was like we were all woke up so tired today,
Uh-huh.
but we still woke up and did the thing that we said we were going to.
Yeah. Wow. Because
Mhm.
that's you've arrived at discipline.
Yes,
Yes.
not in other
Awesome.
areas that I'm working on.
Well, I feel like God works on us in so many different areas of our lives, right? And
Yes.
so if we've
Just like
nailed
you talked about, like
something,
the obedience, right?
right?
Mine is more in the financial discipline that I'm really focused on right now.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, yes. God is so good and he's so
Yeah.
kind
So
that he doesn't
gracious.
leave anything unturned.
Yeah. It's so cool.
So my next question right now is like, because people who listen are really busy moms and they feel like they have absolutely no time
Mhm.
for any self-care. What does purposeful movement look like for that mom who has no time for the gym?
Like the 15 minutes. Like
Hmm.
I would start with that. Um, well, you're gonna always reflect back to your why, always. And you have to put it on your schedule as if you're putting your kid's soccer class on your schedule. Like you
Hmm.
have to see it on your schedule for it to be important enough until it becomes I'm at a place where it's natural, so I don't really need to put it on my time block.
Hmm.
So it has to be there. And then we start short. We start small. We start with 15 minutes. When I actually had the women in that group ask because they're like, I don't know where to start. I'm like, well, I look at how the body moves. We squat, we bend, we push, we pull. So let's just say we do one lower, one upper, and a core movement, 3 sets of 10. I mean, that's not perfect program design, but it gets you moving and it gets you
Yeah.
so oftentimes too is people will start for 15 minutes and they're like, oh, I actually have an extra 15 minutes and they'll do some mobility or then they'll walk on their treadmill or they'll, do some good stretching, whatever that looks like. And I'm like, see, you know that you can do this. You just
Hmm.
had to like put it on the schedule. And then obviously with wise program design is important. But grab some dumbbells. I always say like a lighter, medium, and ladies, get some heavy dumbbells because you're
Mm.
about to embark on feeling so strong. If you actually start moving weights, if you've ever carried a kid in that swingy thing, like the car seat,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you can lift some weights. You lifted that thing for a long time until you couldn't lift it anymore. You can lift weights. So,
Right, right.
yeah,
Okay, so the key is to have a strong why and to have something visual as a reminder for them to make it a priority, whether it's putting it down on their schedule or
yeah.
even like maybe having it up on their refrigerator as a reminder of like their why and starting small with maybe small movements.
Small movements. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like you want to, okay, so it's spring. I don't know about you, but it's not spring yet, but we're headed into spring. So now people will go in panic mode and they have to like lose all the weight by the time they put on their summer dress that they want to wear to church. Well, why don't you just hang that dress somewhere where you have to see it now all
Mm,
the time? Um, but in reality, I think you've got to just put it on the schedule.
yeah,
You've got to make sure that your why is deep enough that you're going to do this thing that you want to do so you don't feel guilty about it anymore. And it's
right.
very empowering to know that you've done the thing that you've set out to do and you realize that it wasn't actually as hard as you thought it was going to be.
That's true. And I
Hmm.
feel like that's a life lesson right there.
Mm.
It's not
Yep.
just stewarding our health, but it's in so many other areas of our lives that we walk down with fear,
Yeah.
discouragement, things like that, barriers that we face in
Well,
any
moms think
areas
that
of our lives.
exhaustion's just part of motherhood.
Hmm.
Well, it's not. It's like that's the result of years of putting yourself last.
Yeah, yeah.
So we shouldn't feel guilty about caring for ourselves. My why is because I actually think it's selfish if I don't take care of myself. If I don't take care of myself, my kids are going to have to take care of me because
Hmm.
I didn't take care of me. And then they're supposed to go and live their fruitful life. And I'm
Hmm.
over here, kind of crying the blues that, well, like I know my family would like love and take care of me if I needed it, but why should I burden them with that? That's not fair.
Yeah. No,
You know,
it's so
that's what a
true.
lot of people in our age group are probably experiencing right now with our parents. And it's
Yep.
challenging. It's painful to witness.
It is. It is painful. And to be honest, like my journey with self-care, it did come out of like reaching that bottom pit
Yeah.
of like burnout. And so that's where I started my journey. But more recently, now that my parents and a lot of the parents of the people that we know are older, taking care of our bodies is a
Not selfish.
non-negotiable. If we
Yeah.
want to continue to pour into our next generation, right?
100%.
That I don't want to burden them. I want to be able to steward my body well.
And I want to go and enjoy my life. I want to go and enjoy
Exactly.
retirement. I don't want to like my mom sadly was diagnosed with Parkinson's. My dad
Mm,
retired, and I think like a couple months later, my mom was they went on one trip, and then my mom was diagnosed with Parkinson's, and unfortunately, like once we're that becomes an identity for a lot of people. Like, oh,
mm,
I'm just diabetic. Oh, I'm
mhm.
this. Oh, I'm that. No, you are a child of God. You are
Amen.
not anything else, so rebuke whatever word has been spoken over you, and let's do the work to reverse that. We can do that,
Hmm.
right? We just become these things, and it's so sad, but it's because we put ourselves on the back burner all the time, and we think it's selfish, but then we also don't know where to go, so we're afraid of asking for help, you know, but when a mom has energy, the entire home benefits,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you know, we just know that there's just so many things that can come out of us really caring for ourselves well. I'm a better wife when I feel confident in my skin. I'm a lot
Hmm.
more fun with my husband. I'm more confident. You know, all of these things are really, really important because I want to have a good marriage. I want to have good relationship with my kids. I don't want them looking at me like, "Oh, mom's on another diet." Like I hear parents or kids saying that
Right.
to their parents, and I'm like, "That's terrible." All we do is we just say, "Hey, I okay, so we don't have good and bad food in our home. We have always food and sometimes food."
Mm, I
So if
like
you want to
that.
go, like, always go into the fridge and get the fresh stuff, and always, any time
Hmm.
of the day, you want to have something there. Sometimes go into the cupboard and have some of those snacks. It's like we create balance.
Hmm.
So we just have to look at like one step at a time and really simplify this, but start to understand that your choices will have long-term ramifications if we don't do something. So if
Yeah.
we allow the busyness to be the thing that stops us, why are we saying yes to so many things when we should probably say no to some of them,
Mm,
even for a little season, you know,
right.
so that we
Hmm.
don't burn out. We're burnt out. We are burnt out nation. I'm in Canada. We're all burnt out. We're just like
Hmm.
giving all our money away. We're just we're just it's just everyone's just like working. All the moms are working, single
Right.
moms. Like it's so hard.
Yeah.
So, but we have to find the right solution for each individual. And just remember like those small, consistent habits, they're going
Hmm.
to create energy for you that you're going to like just be so glad that you feel that way. You just have some learning to do.
Yeah, that is so true. Just being consistent, as long as they're consistently doing it, it's
Yeah.
not a what is it, overnight result that they're going
No.
to see. But after a while, they're going to realize, wait a minute, that was way too easy. I could do a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
The thing is with the consistency, we do have to make sure it's the right thing though, because
mm,
I've seen people consistently go to the gym and not change. Like
ah,
they're not really working on their, well, it's maybe because they don't understand their goals just yet. But if their
hmm.
consistency is just to go, then they've consistently done that. But if they're following the wrong plan, that's where people are like, well, that plan doesn't work because I've been doing it for 6 months. It just didn't work. We
Hmm.
just don't have a good plan then.
Wonderful. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Krista, for coming on and for sharing your journey, your story, and your five-step system. Please share with us where anyone can go to reach you. Where can they find you?
Well, I have my podcast. It's all about health and fitness and wellness and like the all things we talked about today. So that's called Strength for Generations, and that's on any platform. Instagram, Baker Family Fitness. I'm really trying to not be on there, but I still have it.
Hmm.
Or Facebook. I actually enjoy Facebook a little bit more than Instagram, so you can even friend me there and love to just chat.
Thank you. Hey Mama, thank you for listening to the end. If you enjoyed today's episode, would you share this episode and bless another mom who's in the weeds of all the busy and the overwhelm? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. This matters so much to this show so that it can help other overwhelmed, exhausted, and busy moms. Together, we can encourage one another to prioritize everything important in our lives for our peace, our health, and our self-care, because it matters to your families and for future generations to come. You're making a generational impact. God bless you, sister.